Go for it. So I owe you a few explanations. We came down to Valentina so she can hear the explanations. So two things. First of all, the tomb of the sacred goats. Come on, people. Why do they call them sacred goats? Why is it sacred?
Satan?
Sacred.
It's a sacred spot.
Secret?
So second, sacrifices.
Sacrifice.
I just explained. No. Why?
Sacrifice.
No cutting marks. No burning marks. So what do you do with a goat?
Smile, Enrico.
Sacrificing it without cutting it or burning it.
Maybe there is a connection between God because he's half
Wait.
half a goat.
You are absolutely right. For sure, that's a big picture.
Zafuru!
This is punch. Now in a second I'm going to ask you the questions. It's going to take you down to 36 points in a second. So this is Pan. Pan is half a man, half a goat. And the story goes that when he was born, the midwife went into panic. Why? Because she saw he has horns. And he had a goatee, a beard, okay, and the legs were a bit awkward of goats. So Pan is half a man, half a goat. And you're right, it's connected to Pan. But again, I'm going to ask the following question. So they're sacred, so they're not being given as sacrifices. So what do they do with 900 goats? Question mark. How do you worship a goat? He walks around. What do you do? They all come and bow down to the goat. How does it work? That's the question. How do you feeding them and asking for forgiveness? You all have such great ideas, but I haven't seen any of them in the historical sources that I have. None of them. I don't know of any place in the world that's worshipped goats like that and worship the god of Pan like that. No. And the Greeks used to eat goats. We used to make milk, but we used to sacrifice goats in different temples, different gods. So, no, I have a problem here. I have 900 skeletons of goats and I don't have an answer. Bury them alive. Guys, you have great ideas. I don't know how to prove that or disprove that. But why would you bury a goat alive? That's the question. And why would you do it to 900 goats? That's the next question. Okay, you can have different ideas. As you can see, people are very, very... Okay, so the answer is as follows. You can agree, you can disagree. The historical sources do not tell us what these two places were. The things I know about these places as follows. They're on the hill of the temple. That means it's connected to the temple. It wouldn't be that if it's not connected. It's the same period of time, meaning the 2nd and 3rd century AD. Okay? And for sure, there's a connection to the temples around it. Now I'm giving you the following. You remember I showed you that half circle below you? And if you looked at the coin, who took a picture of the coin? Send it to everybody.
Samir.
There's a coin there that was made in the city of Banias, and it has a niche like that. And inside the niche, I need two new models. Two new models.
Cousin.
Two models. I had a model before. If somebody who wasn't one,
يلا يابا.
they'll remember you. Believe you me, they're gonna remember you. So you are standing like that. Just like that. Thank you. You come here. Give him a hand. Give him a hand. Yeah, like that. And put your leg up now. This leg, this leg, this leg. Put that down. This leg. Yes, like that. Now you. Like this. Turn to him. Turn to him. Turn to him like that. And you turn like him. You okay there? Yeah. When you look at the coin, you see that in the half circle, there's two goats who are standing like that. Standing like that. Two goats are standing like that. Very nice. They did really good job. And what are they doing? That's the question of the archaeologists. They're dancing, you're saying, okay? Can you dance, people? Thank you very much, mighty goats. Thank you. Thank you for the goats.
Why they call them dancing youths?
Why would you do something like that if you're dancing? Come on. I mean, if they're in this situation, please, or that situation, please, they must be dancing goats.
They're taking a picture.
And the idea of the archaeologist comes from the coin. He looks at the coin, he says, what is that? It's two goats holding hands and dancing. And it's in a half an ish. Now you can agree or disagree or have a different idea about those places. But I think that it's a nice idea. Okay? Now you look at Shai and you say, dancing goats, come on! So I'm going to show you that all religions have quick things that they think of and they do. And I can go throughout all religions. But I want to go a second to religion in Banias. If we're in religions, pagan religion is one thing. Let's talk about Christianity in Banias. And funny enough, in the 5th, 6th and 7th century, Christian pilgrims will come up to Banias. Funny enough, none of them will be talking about
The church.
Jesus, Peter, and the keys of the heaven. None of them. They would all mention a church that I have no clue where that one was. Maybe it's the one there. Maybe it's not. Who knows? But they talk about a church. And when they talk about a church, and Eusebius, the father of the church in the 4th century, he says that in the church there's a statue for the bleeding woman. There's a story in the New Testament of a woman who kept on bleeding the cycle of the month. She used to continually, she didn't stop for many, many years. And it is said that when Jesus walked around, funny enough, it's mentioned somewhere else, but they brought this tradition here, that she grabbed his coat, and when she grabbed his coat, she became cured. Okay, she became cured. And Eusebius tells us that in the church in Banias, there's a statue of that lady. Okay, in Banias. I'm continuing onwards, and it says, funny enough, Theodosius comes in the 5th century, 100 years down the line, and he says that he saw the statue of the lady, and he gives her name. He calls her Veronica. You'll hear that name again and again and again.
Yes,
Okay,
right.
Veronica. Veronica, Vera icon, the true icon. Okay, Veronica is the true icon. In the 6th century, another Christian guy comes along. His name is Malalas. It's not really important the name, just the process that's happening. And he says that there's a statue, and the name of the lady is Veronica, and she built the statue in thanks to Jesus. And not only that, is next to the statue you see a letter from her to, okay, you understand there was a statue, the statue got a name, the statue got a letter that she wrote. You see how it moves through generations. I'm ending at the end of the 7th century. A guy called Vilibeludus will come here, and he'll say the following. There is a bronze statue of the lady, excuse me, of Jesus, of course. Next to it, there's a picture of Veronica holding his coat, because the statue doesn't have Veronica in it. It just has a picture next to it, Veronica holding the coat of Jesus. On the statue, there's a plant, something that's growing on the statue. And if you take the plant from the statue and you put it in water, what can happen to you? You're going to be cured from every disease. Again, look at how tradition of a holy place moves onwards. It starts with a statue. It moves in giving it a name. Later on, it has a picture of the lady who gave the statue. Later on, it has a plant growing on it. And you should know that in every religion there's floors going up and up and up, and it starts on a base floor. And you're going to be learning a lot of religions here: Jewish, Muslim, Christian. There's a base floor, something that started this whole thing, and slowly it's moving onwards. Explain the temples a second. There were dancing goats, and when the dancing goat died, what happened? What happened? Would you throw it away? It was sacred. It was dancing for fun. What would you do with it? You bury it. This is the second floor of the dancing goat. We think it's no, it's starting with the dancing goat, and it's moving to the tomb of the sacred goats. So you'll see this. You'll see traditions building up one on top of another. It's in Christianity, and it's Islam, it's in Jewish customs. It's everywhere. Traditions will move onwards and shape themselves. One last thing here in Banias, and with that, I'm sending you off home. I just did a terrible thing, and that is showing you only this part of Banias. But Banias has a main road, just we don't have time for it, with a corridor, with pillars dug up. It has a huge palace from the 1st century that spreads 120 meters to the side and 150 meters to the length. Some of it is dug up. Amazing. It has towers from the Crusader period. It has whatever you can imagine. That means that you have to come back and you can't stay. The last thing I would say is Banias, as a city slash town slash populated area, kept on going from -2 all the way down to 1967. Again, as a town, Banias has the longest straight record that I know, except Jerusalem or other few in Israel, but Banias has a very long record of 2,000 years of straight population. Okay? That's very important, because that means you can see here every period you can imagine. Crusaders, there's Mamluks, there's everything, Ottoman, Syrians, French mandate, there's everything you can imagine. But for that, you'll have to come back to Banias. I'm done. And you are done too.
Thank you.